It is time for some cheesy games. We're right here on Sequencer LE, and it looks like we're going up against a Terran player. Now, this is a rather large map. I already decided that I wanted to play really aggressive here right from the get-go. So I think it is our best, our best bet to go ahead and send the workers straight across the map, maybe do an extractor trick or so, and build a proxy hatchery on the other side of the map and try and see if we can potentially kill our opponent from the inside out. Now, of course, I do want to make sure that I'm not going to be scouted. He will more than likely send his Reaper along this path if he, goes for the quick Reaper scout. And of course, we do sort of rely on my opponent not going for an SCV really early on. But let's see if we can try and make this one work. There we go. Hatchery going down in the top left-hand corner of the map. Or I guess this would be the center part of the map, I suppose. Regardless, though, we'll put up a spawning pool here next. And I think we'll go into the double gas geyser so we can flood our opponent with as many roaches as we can possibly afford. This is gonna get messy really, really quickly. This is one of the types of games that I have been trying to practice a little bit more. I feel like I'm pretty strong when it comes to like solid, straight up macro. I feel like that is probably my standard and, really like my go-to bread and butter strategy in most of the games. But, if you can throw your opponent off guard and make it a pretty scrappy match, it requires a different set of skills. It definitely does require a different set of skills. Anyhow, we'll go ahead and put the drones into the gas geyser here right from the get-go. I don't know. I think I should make a single overlord here, just in case. There is indeed a SCV moving across the map. That is a little unfortunate. That is not quite what I had in mind there. We'll go ahead and build a first set of Zerglings on the other side of the map right when this hatchery finishes up. He's gonna figure out roughly what's going on here, but he, of course, hasn't quite seen precisely what is happening. This is gonna get really strange really fast. I actually have to pull some drones out of gas. I don't need this much gas right from the get-go. Luckily, he's not microing the SCV just yet, so I'm assuming he's not actually checking what is precisely going on just yet. And actually, this is gonna get weird. He's not opening up with a Reaper. He's also, like, scouting early, but it doesn't look like he's actually paying attention to what's going on. I'm gonna be able to pick up this first Marine quite easily. Roach Warren is done. Wait, I'm not actually going to be able to kill that? Wow. Alright, interesting. I assumed at the very least that I would be able to. Okay. We need to try and keep that overlord alive. I kind of need it. I kind of do need it. Alright, very good. Can we pick off that single marine? Looks like it's not here, actually. We do have a queen out right now as well. And of course, we'll try and get as aggressive here as we can. Sadly, the overlord is now not in position, though. That's interesting. The Reaper opener usually is the standard right now, right? We can do a lot of damage here, though. And he immediately GG's out. What a cheesy game. Let's do another. Next match is once again against a Terran player, but this time around it's on Abyssal Reef, and I actually autopiloted right there into creating a drone. We don't need one of those. Immediately canceled that. I think on this map we don't really need to like build a proxy hatchery, and instead we'll just, build our spawning pool inside of the main base right here at 12 supply. This is, a build that I've practiced a little bit more of, so let's see if we can do this one maybe a little bit more cleanly. But I was actually quite happy right there with the result in that previous match. Even though my opponent went for an SCV scout, you could clearly see that he was preoccupied doing something else. I think he was busy microing that marine. And while he could have spotted roughly what was going on, I'm pretty sure by the time that the SCV came across the map, he had already decided that he was gonna go for that very quick, second command center anyway. So he was using that at the top of the ramp. Luckily for him, at the very least, he wasn't like building it inside of, the natural, mineral patches right away, or like, into that little position right there. But regardless, we did most definitely get a nice upper hand, and I'm going to be able to play a very similar style this time around, with the exception that we're going to be capable of playing this a little bit more, orthodox, I guess. So, if my opponent goes for an SCV scout, it's pretty easy to see what's going on, okay? They can quite easily figure out precisely what is going on. However, if they don't, and they only really go for the Reaper, I'm going to be capable of doing a lot of damage by just simply sniping the very first SCV, and that is a shame. By just simply sniping the SCV that is moving to repair the command center. No, I was hoping that I would potentially be able to catch this, but it's not going to be the case. I'm gonna run the Lings all the way around to potentially still see if I can sneak around, you know, the first Reaper once it does move out. But my opponent knows precisely what's going on here. And this is gonna get, like, very difficult very fast. Now, of course, this is not game over by any stretch of the imagination. It will now mostly come down to a micro game. If he's sending out the Reaper, we can actually kill the SCV that's building the command center, is what I was trying to say there previously. But from here on out, we're just producing as many roaches as we possibly can. Do have to be a little careful, though. No CC. No CC. That's a troubling thought right there. There's already... oh, man. This is gonna get tricky really fast. There's already a reactor going down right there. There's a couple of good units that can counter this quite effectively. Most notably, of course, you have the beautiful unit called the Cyclone. If they manage to get somehow, some way, a bunch of those out, it would be very tricky. There's also, of course, what is it called? The Banshee. The Banshee that can absolutely shut this down too, because we won't really have any anti-air other than the corrosive biles, and generally speaking, you're not going to be able to land those very comfortably. But there's still a chance we can clean this one up. The only problem, of course, to realize is that my opponent did not commit to a second expansion because of that early SCV scout, and because of that, if he's going for the double Cyclone already, that would be bad. Oh, he's going for a siege tank instead. I think we may actually have to start droning here soon again. I'm not sure. This seems like a shutdown build already. I was feeling confident though. We can always, of course, play you know, a more aggressive variant here shortly as well. I think that is the bunker gone at least. There we go. Bunker does get shut down here eventually. We still have a lot of units though. Where's that siege tank at? No, I can't reach that. I can't reach that. I feel like it's almost my best option to just simply go back to macro. There's a second siege tank coming out here in just a little bit. If we can potentially kill the factory, that would be pretty good too, because then we have a chance at moving up that ramp, right? If you have a chance at moving up that ramp, that would be huge. Okay, no second siege tank. There's a tech lab going down right there, but I can actually try and, like, move up. It takes 3 biles. Oh, no way! No way! And we still end up obtaining the victory. Are you kidding me? Oh, the last game right here. It's gonna be up against a Protoss player. I know a pretty sweet cheese against the Protoss as well. And once again, it does involve a couple of Ravagers, so we can still go ahead and rush our opponent. Now, this is gonna be a little bit more macro focused, because there's really not a Protoss player out there that's not gonna send a probe early on into the game to see what the Zerg is doing. In particular, just because they want to decide if they want to build that nexus on the low ground, right? They can't really, like Terran can, for example, just simply lift that command center and you know, be fine anyway when it finishes up. So it's a little bit more of a commitment for Protoss. So we're gonna open up aggressively, but it's gonna be a little bit different. So we'll open up with a gas geyser first. Then we'll make one more drone, and at 17 supply, I'm putting down a spawning pool. Right here, so 17 gas, 17 spawning pool. Then we'll make one more drone, and then we go for an expansion. Now, I'm expecting my opponent's probe to be here once I try and put up my expansion, right? So I'm gonna send the drone a little bit early. We may have to do a little bit of shenanigans, but we're gonna make this look... yeah, there indeed the probe is. We're gonna make this look like it's a standard game. So my opponent actually decided to go for a block right there, straight into the pylon. That's actually good for me, because that means that it is spending resources, not on units. I'm planning on going all in here, right? So if I can build the hatchery closer to his base and get the larva out a little bit more comfortably, that's going to be a benefit for me. We'll make 2 more drones right there. And then at 18, we'll save up for just a little bit. We'll make a set of Zerglings. Come on. As well as the queen. There we go. We got to shoo away that probe as soon as we can. The probe apparently is already leaving, which is perfect for me. I'm getting the Zerglings now anyway, so we can shut down that pylon. But if he scouts that I'm putting down a Roach Warren really early on into the game, we're going to be in trouble. The nice thing is, though, that Protoss really doesn't have a way of scouting that this is going on. And while he did cancel the pylon, apparently, I'm actually just going to simply rally just like that. We'll send one of the links towards this base just to see if he's, you know, trying to be cheeky and potentially go for, like, a a counter-attack aggression right here as well. We'll build up to two additional, what are they called? Two additional, overlords. Two additional drones here as well. Could have probably actually snuck out the drones first. But my opponent right now is looking at this. He's like, alright, it's a hatch gas pool. Or it's a, you know, a gas pool hatch. And, you know, it's a little bit of a weird one because I pylon blocked them. Yada, yada, yada. It looks like a standard game, right? But lo and behold, shortly. And I'm hoping he's putting down that Nexus on the low ground right over here. We're going to be in a great position. As soon as this Queen Inject pops off, I'll be making a whole bunch of stuff. There we go. Now, we are on a bit of a timer. Because if my opponent is going for, say, for example, a push with an Oracle, I am going to be in quite a bit of trouble. But we already have 6 of the roaches coming in. This is the only, that's the only amount of roaches that I'm making here. I'm going to switch into mass Zergling now instead. So link speed is just about to finish up. We're going to send all of these links across the map as well as all of the other units. And we'll have to pick up any Ravagers or any Adepts, yeah, there we go, that are trying to get scouting information off right now. So I'm sending the units across, but I want to be there at least in a reasonable amount of time as well to try and pick off all of these units. It takes about 8 links or so to properly pick off the Adepts. Although it looks like my opponent actually may be playing really aggressive. Okay, there we go. Running them across. Okay, may have to pick this one off. There we go. And my opponent knows he's in trouble. That is 2 pickoffs right there of really the only units that he's got. Now I'm morphing in a bunch of Ravagers. And we'll try and see if we can force a photon overcharge here already. If there's no Mothership Core out... Oh, I was gonna say, then we'll be in a great position. This is still not bad for us, though. Morphing the low HP ones into... We're actually just gonna eat some of those photon overcharges. Oh, we can't actually fit through that. Interesting. I didn't expect that to be the case. No, we can't fit through that. My roaches and Ravagers are too fat. But my opponent, he knows it. He won't have enough stuff, even though he finished up his warp gates. All of his units got picked off for practically nothing. And the Ravager Rush picks up another victim. A little bit of a cheesy bunch of games right here, but I hope you enjoyed watching it nonetheless. Ravager Rushes, they're really powerful. If your micro is solid and you can execute good builds and you can understand, you know, how your opponent's mind works, so to say, right? And you understand Zerg vs Terran and Zerg vs Protoss from the opponent's point of view as well, you can oftentimes do a lot of damage. So in this particular instance, my opponent wasn't even making a starport. He was going for that Twilight Council play, and while he may be able to get Dark Templar out about 7 minutes into the game, at the 5-minute mark, they're not going to be quite available just yet. I hope you enjoyed watching this matches right here. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. And other than that, I want to thank you very much so for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you in the next one.